Remember those hot summer days and the random people you would meet? Welcome, everyone, to Daydreaming in the Life Artois, tales of a summer worth savoring. Today's tale takes us to a park in New York City, Brooklyn to be exact, where summer truly comes to life, and where we all hope to gather together again soon, to invite all of our friends and maybe throw a spontaneous picnic. Whether you would want to invite the hero of this story to your picnic, well, that's another thing altogether. Now close your eyes and prepare your mind to be transported to the Life Artois. The Devil Went Down to Brooklyn by Shalom Auslander. Folks thought it was easy. What could be easier? Walk around hell, stoke a few fires, punish a few of the damned, and take the rest of the day off? If they only knew. The devil had the hardest job in all the afterworld. God was an unrepentant micromanager, a data guy who demanded daily reports on just how many sinners were in hell, leaving hell, and coming to hell. It was a nightmare. So the devil looked forward to 5 p.m. when he could hang up the pitchfork and head home. But he also dreaded it. 5 p.m. was when he had to submit his daily numbers to the Lord and hope they added up. And today he was one sinner short. One short? He asked his assistant, Phil. What do you mean one short? Phil was pale with fear. It was nearly 4 o'clock. I checked the numbers twice, he said. We're one short, boss. We need one more. The devil swore under his breath. They don't pay me enough. He lived in a shabby one-bedroom with noisy pipes and a stove that never lit. In hell! His suit was old, his tie out of fashion, and his social life, well, let's just say nobody wanted the devil over for dinner. But now was no time to bemoan his fate. He had 1 hour to find a sinner before God came knocking on his office door. So the devil put on his coat, told Phil to bring the car around, and headed down to the one place on earth he was sure to find one: Brooklyn, New York. It had been a long time since he'd been to Brooklyn. The last time was 30 years ago, and he got mugged in Prospect Park. And so now the devil, looking for a sinner, had Phil drop him off at the 7th Street entrance to the perilous Prospect Park in the squalid Park Slope section of the hideous Brooklyn, New York. Wait here, said the devil. You've got God in an hour, Phil called through the window. The devil nodded. I won't be long. His plan was simple. Enter the park, head over to the lake, sit on a bench, get mugged, grab the mugger, and head back to hell. God would never know he had even left. But as soon as he entered the park, the devil knew something was wrong. Very wrong. He heard something, not yelling, not fighting, not sirens. It was music. Pleasant music. Chopin, he realized, coming from behind a row of maple trees, the delicate notes rising like angels towards heaven above. He followed the music to the idyllic Long Meadow, where he discovered an outdoor concert taking place. Dozens of people sitting and laying on the grass, cheering and clapping as the orchestra finished one piece and began another. 30 years ago, the only people laying on the grass in Brooklyn were dead. What's going on? He asked a couple of 20-somethings sitting nearby, hoping they would just mug him and get it over with. But instead they smiled, introduced themselves as Eric and Nishan, and told him it was the first concert of the summer season. It was Memorial Day after all, and inexplicably invited him to join them for crackers and cheese. Wouldn't you rather knife me, he asked? Steal my wallet? Take my phone? Knife you, laughed Eric. Yeah, joked Nishan. Then we'll drop your body in the lake. The devil had many more questions, but the orchestra had begun another piece, and mention of the lake reminded the devil of his mission. And so he finished his cheese and downed his rosé and hurried off, hoping the real muggers wouldn't wait until dark to come out. Last time he had been mugged in broad daylight, so he was optimistic for the same result now. But as he drew closer to the lake, his optimism faded as he saw something even more strange here than he had at Long Meadow. There in the middle of Prospect Park Lake were people, living people, in boats. And he had to look twice to make sure he had seen it, fishing. What the hell, he wondered, glancing around the park, is going on? People were tossing footballs with their kids, frisbees with their dogs. On the field across the way, a group of women were doing yoga. "Watch your back," a man suddenly yelled at him, and for a moment the devil thought, "At last, I'm about to be attacked." But the man simply jogged by, waved, and called over his shoulder, "Thank you." Now the devil began to worry. Thank you? Where was he? He glanced down at his wrist hourglass. God joked that he would get him a real watch when he retired, and a full 20 minutes had already passed. Across the park he raced, and things only grew more disturbingly pleasant as he did. Friends played soccer, families enjoyed picnics, elderly couples held hands outside the botanical gardens where flowers were in full bloom, pink cherry blossoms and red azaleas and purple pansies and orange tulips. And just when the devil thought things could get no stranger, a group of horseback riders trotted by, laughing and calling to each other as they went. The devil, baffled, approached one of the horses. "Hey," he said to the horse, "what the hell's going on here?" "It's Memorial Day," said the horse. "I know it's Memorial Day," the devil shouted. "We're the muggers, the thieves, the crooks, the criminals." The horse politely explained that things had changed a lot over the last 30 years. In fact, if the devil wanted to get mugged, he would have a better chance outside the park. The devil glanced at his hourglass. 30 minutes had now passed. There was no time to lose. He'd go to Williamsburg. 30 years ago, Williamsburg was the closest thing to hell on earth. But sadly, here too, he found nothing but springtime pleasantries. People of all races and religions came and went, riding bicycles and sitting at cafes and bookshops. The closest he could find to a crime was a store selling t-shirts for $500. But the shoppers didn't seem to mind. They were lined up around the corner. And then, just as he was about to give up, a couple ran by shouting, "Hurry, hurry!" Finally, a crime. The devil followed them. Was it a robbery? But once again, his hopes for iniquity soon vanished. The friends merely ran onto the Williamsburg Bridge and stopped halfway to watch the warm setting sun, the sky around her awash in purple and pink. Now the devil knew he was defeated. Where was he going to find a sinner in the city now? He could grab the mayor, sure, but hell was already filled with politicians. He glanced down at his hourglass. The hour had passed. God would be waiting in his office, angrily drumming his fingers on his desk, demanding to know why they were one sinner short. And what would the devil tell him? That it was Memorial Day? That the most glorious season had arrived in what was now the most glorious city in the world? That people were kind and inviting, and miracle of miracles, friendly? With a heavy heart, he headed back to Park Slope. "Hey you," someone suddenly called. "You there, from the park." He looked up to see the couple he had met at the concert, Eric and Nishan, with some others, just about to enter their apartment building, their arms filled with groceries and beer. "Come on up," Eric said. "We're having some Stellas, gonna grill some steaks." The devil followed them upstairs. You know what, he thought? To hell with hell. I'm staying. This is nice. Brooklyn is nice. People are nice. Life here is good. Eric handed him a beer, and the devil looked out the living room window with views of the waterfront and the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm home, he thought. What's the rent? He asked Eric. $5,000, said Eric. A year? A month. It took the devil 10 minutes to get back to his waiting car, knocking over old ladies as he ran. He jumped into the passenger seat, put on his seatbelt, and said to Phil, "Floor it, we're late." "Where's the sinner?" asked Phil. "He's a landlord in Williamsburg," said the devil. "Out of town for Memorial Day, but we'll come back Tuesday and grab him." He glanced at Phil. "What's that?" the devil said. "A cronut," said Phil. "What's a cronut?" "It's like a croissant and a donut." "Is it good?" "It's great." "We don't have those in hell, do we?" asked the devil. No, said Phil, glancing at the beer in the devil's hand. What's that? Stella. Is it good? It's great. We don't have those in hell, do we? Asked Phil. As they headed back to hell, the devil looked out at Brooklyn one last time and smiled. Sure, God would be pissed. What else was new? But after work, he'd go home, put his feet up on his old couch, and think about the open-air orchestra, and about the women practicing yoga, and about the cherry blossoms, and about Eric and Nishan, and about the spectacular sun setting softly on the water. Next summer, he said to Phil, let's be one short again. Open your eyes and welcome back. Now allow yourself one more indulgence as you get ready for the weekend. An ice-cold Stella Artois. This episode concludes our series of audio escapes to a summer worth savoring. We hope you enjoyed daydreaming in The Life Artois. Go to the Stella Artois Instagram account now, @Stella Artois, for a special happy hour Instagram live talk with the author of this